Randy,
Yes.
don't be freaked out.
What is that?
I'm just telling you, it
What
is
is
not
that?
what you think. It is not the fires of Hades. It's me just playing with a light. I'll change it to blue so it looks better.
Oh wow! But isn't this National Heart Month? I think it is.
Oh, then I need to go back then.
Go
Don't
back
I?
to red. Yeah, you've got the red shirt, the red glasses, and the red aura behind you.
Yeah.
It's a high budget. Teddy, I know you're the check writer in this whole shindig. So is this out of your personal or is this a business thing?
Hey, Randy, let's talk about that later. Why don't you tell the people who you are?
Sure. All right. A couple times a week, I get together with Mr. Aura over there, Teddy Burriss, and we have a little fun. On Wednesday, we do the big talk show that we've been doing for 3 years now. But a couple of times a week, get together with Teddy. My name's Randy Wooden with Goodwill Industries of Northwest North Carolina. And as you probably know by now, director for our professional center. So we help job hunters do a little bit better job of the job hunt. If you may be one of those or know somebody that could be, have them reach out to me. We'll get you on the calendar and happy to help. But like I said, a couple of times a week, Teddy and I get together, cut up a little bit on Monday and share some tips and stories and also have a little fun look at this date in history. But first, Teddy, what's going on with that behind you there anyway?
Yeah, I'm just playing with technology. It was really cheap, Randy. And yes, I did pay for this out of my own personal budget.
Okay, good.
But my wife's going to reimburse me. But for those who've never met me, I'm Teddy. I'm a LinkedIn strategist, trainer, and coach. I do Google Workspace as well, teaching that as a business tool. Working on a new project now. I'm doing in April. I'm going to kick off a 5-day LinkedIn profile challenge.
Yep.
So really going to be it's coming together really good. It's going to be really cool. But it's what I do every day, Monday through Friday, from whatever the time I want to start to whenever I want to stop. I teach LinkedIn and Google Workspace as a business tool. But I love getting together with Randy twice a week, sometimes a little bit more. And on Mondays, it's one of the things that Randy is charged to do. It's in his job description, and that is to go out and do research and trivia on this day. So did you pull it off, buddy?
I did, and today is the bounty of trivia. So Teddy, put your thinking cap on. We have a little fun today.
Good.
So we're talking, again, this date on February 27th. Some births. A fellow named Hiram Everest was born in 1831. So this is a two-part trivia question.
Okay.
He is an American. He co-founded a company. That's the first one. What did he co-found?
Hiram Everest.
Hiram Everest. It has nothing to do with Mount Everest and heights. No, you'll never get it. I'll tell you that one. He was the co-founder of the vacuum cleaner.
Yeah.
Oil company.
Vacuum oil company. Oh, so back in the day, and even industrial vacuums had that high viscous oil.
Okay. So there's that.
What it is?
Well, so he was a co-founder of the company. So the next question is, so why should anybody give a hoot about the vacuum oil company? So the trivia question is, what is that known by today?
Is it the oil? Is it oil?
Exxon Mobil. Yeah. And what happened, there's a ton of mergers and acquisitions, and he was a co-founder. So he bought this other guy out, and one thing led to another. And so they became, it is now what is known as Exxon Mobil. They was actually Mobil. Hiram
got nickels out of that.
Yeah. Who knows? But Hiram Everest was the main dude there. All right. Another trivia. This fellow was born 1878. His name is Charles Strite, Strite. He's an American inventor, and he invented something that most American families use weekly in the kitchen.
Charles Strite in the kitchen.
Strite in the kitchen.
Or foil.
He invented the pop-up toaster. Now you know that. Now you know. All right. 1932, Elizabeth Taylor born, and Ralph Nader born in the state. 1934. Unsafe at Any Speed, I think was his book that kind of put him on the map.
Yeah, I remember that.
Deaths on this date, 1936. Ivan Pavlov. Remember the Pavlov's dog and all that stuff?
Monkeys or dogs, yeah.
Yeah, there's rings a bell and a dog salivates because he knows he's going to get food. He's a Russian physiologist. Fred Rogers, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, passed away in this state, 2003. And Spock, Leonard Nimoy from Star Trek, passed away on this date, 2015. All right, some events on this date in history. 1827, the first Mardi Gras celebration in New Orleans. Here's a trivia
last
question.
Week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's a trivia question for you. And I don't know the date, but it doesn't matter. This guy discovered something. He is a Russian chemist, Konstantin Fahlberg.
Konstantin Fahlberg, a chemist, Russian chemist.
Russian chemist. It has nothing to do with liquor.
Nothing. Oh, really?
He discovered saccharin, the sweetener. Also, a little trivia here. The year was 1940. Martin Kamen and Sam Rubin discovered something.
Kamen and Rubin. I don't know, buddy.
Carbon-14 dating. Yeah, so they discovered that. Now, you know, Teddy, remember that fruitcake you've gotten in the back of that in your kitchen in a cupboard?
Should now they can carbon date it?
They can carbon date that and figure out when that thing was made. On this date, just a 3 years back, 2020, the Dow Jones, thanks to COVID, took a huge fall, the biggest point drop in history, 1,190 points off the Dow Jones in one day. So that's a look at this date in history. The story for you really goes back to our show number 150 this past week with Leslie Spies, and we looked at the working genius.
They were talking about you, and she was talking about you and me, man.
And well, first of all, that was a shock that we the word genius, you and I were in the same sentence together. And we don't need to go into the details. Go ahead and watch the show, and you'll learn the ins and outs of the working genius and where our geniuses lie and all that stuff. And so you can check that out. But I guess my point is more to understand that assessments do have a place. They have a value. And if nothing else, it helps validate who you kind of thought you were in the first place. But maybe it's nice now to see it in an assessment. And while people can change and personalities can migrate to some degree, I think it's a good barometer to really look at knowing where your strengths are as you go about your job search to ideally try to match things that you enjoy doing with what that job might be. And also from the flip side, if I'm an employer trying to build a team, I'd like to understand the various strengths of my teammates. So good stuff that we shared last week.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was good stuff. So, and more corporations are using these types of assessments, different types of assessments than the quote unquote same old. No disrespect to those, Myers and those kinds of discs, et cetera. But there are other ways to figure people out. All right, here's my story, Randy. Saturday was an absolutely fantastic show. I don't have the finals. I'm talking about the Rotary. Excuse me. It was a Rotary event I did, not a show. I don't have the finals yet because they haven't tallied them and shared them. But I had 2 high school students that I've been coaching since early December 2022. I've been coaching them how to be a public speaker and to speak about the Rotary 4-way test. It was so much fun. I mean, these guys had so much enthusiasm, excitement. They also, they showed up well. They were confident as they stood on stage, which is a long thing, far, far away from where they were in early December of last year. And my point about sharing this, not only was I was excited to be a part of that, and to see these 2 students grow, but man, wouldn't it be great if more high school students had the ability to be challenged and grow to be better speakers? Man, it was pretty cool to see. I think it could help a lot of people.
Yeah, and it's one of those skills that really is not necessarily taught much in school. There's reading, writing, arithmetic, and then everything else on top of that. But those soft skills, the communication skills, sometimes are sort of just, I'll use my word, left aside.
Yeah, I'm with you. I agree. Well, it'll happen along the way, and there's not enough, in my opinion, there's not enough serious thought put into developing those communication skills. So
that's a whole other topic too, Teddy, as far as, there are only so many hours in the school day, and so much can be taught But again, it's hats off to you and to, I think Cindy Martin was helping you with that.
Cindy Martin helped me. Yeah.
That's excellent. So kudos to you guys, and kudos to your students, because it was
cool.
really them that took on that challenge, and it sounds like they've done quite well. Got
All
a good
right,
guest,
so,
Teddy. Who you have this week? You've got to teach us
Billy
a little bit
Bambrough,
about,
man. Billy Bambrough. We had him scheduled a month or so ago, and something came up that he had to change, and he's coming back. Billy Bambrough is going to come talk about what is this thing called cryptocurrency, which I've been following Billy for about 6 or 8 months now, reading his newsletter he publishes almost every day. But what is crypto all about? Cryptocurrency. Randy, do you have any crypto under your mattress? Not dust.
I'm not telling, because it's crypto. It's cryptic.
So it's going to be a pretty cool show. So 11:55 a.m. this Wednesday, Billy Bambrough will be our special guest. If you don't know what crypto is, or you think it's something you don't want to know about, show up, because I'm telling you, we need to be paying attention to this stuff. So.
Yeah. Hey, got a quick tip for you. And I've seen this here recently with clients on both sides. Where I'm going with this is giver's gain. Yeah. If I'm a job hunter, and obviously I need a job, and if all I do is hit up people and say, hey, can you help me? Do you know of any jobs? Blah, blah, that kind of a thing. One client went through that, and basically they came back to say, I kind of burned through everybody I know, and now I just feel like I'm at ground zero. So where do I go from here? And again, this has been over the past few weeks, but then I had another client who was using that giver's gain, and how can I help you, and so forth. And not only were people seemingly more receptive to talking with somebody who's willing to, try to help them.
Yeah.
But actually they were, again, getting more names of people and being able to grow their network. So the idea of giver's gain is not new to job hunters, not new to anything, but it's part of life, I think, that we need to be mindful of. And how can we help better somebody else? And, ultimately things come back to you. I don't know, we call it karma. I don't care what you want to call it, but do the right thing.
Yeah.
And that'll ultimately pay dividends.
Yeah. Right. Years ago, I had a guy that was career coaching, and he put together a 3-ring binder of profiles and resumes for about 20 job seekers. And he went knocking on doors at HR departments and staffing firms and hiring managers. He said, I just want to tell you about these 20 people. That's what he did. And he created some really cool relationships that way, helping other people. And that's how he found his job. Just by doing that. Giver's gain. Absolutely. All right, Randy, I started a program. I'm not going to do an ad sale here, but I started a program called the 5-Day LinkedIn Profile Challenge.
Yep.
It's in April. If anybody's interested in that, hunt me down. Ad done. But here's my point. My point is, challenge yourself. Take a look at your LinkedIn profile. What does it say? Is it like, is it a resume? Or is it clearly a brochure that tells the viewer who you are and what you do and what you enjoy doing? If your LinkedIn profile is sort of ho-hum, lackadaisical, slapped it together with a peanut butter jelly sandwich, and it doesn't really speak volumes about you, I challenge you to go take a look at it and make it better. You don't need to hire me, just do it. That's my tip for the week, Randy.
Yeah. Yeah. And I get guilty of that too, because I get buried in my job and, living the glamorous lifestyle of a rock star.
I envy you.
And so sometimes I need to look back at it and tweak it here and there. But the good point, Teddy. And, it's a brochure. It's not necessarily a historical kind of document, right?
Yeah, or your obituary.
Or your obituary. Gotcha. Hey, man, it's good to talk to you as always. Wednesday, we're going to learn cryptocurrency and going to invest your $10 million in your mind and a little bit in crypto, you think? Or
no, I'm going to move some of my Bitcoin over to another wallet. So
okay,
I'll figure it out with you, buddy. So 11:55, Billy Bambrough on Wednesday. Yeah. See you guys later. I'll talk to you later, buddy.
All right, see you. Yep.